The Backrooms. You've been here before. Level 231, the City of Resources. Note, this document is outdated. Involvement in Level 231 has been discontinued and is no longer in the focus of the bntg. Image caption. Welcome to the City of the Future. Edward Rocker, Chief Executive of the Level 231 Renovation Project. Survival difficulty. Class under construction. Safe, restricted, renovation in process. Image caption. A picture of level 231 upon its initial discovery and colonization. Description. Level 231 is an urban environment, completely under the ownership and management of the bntg. The level was discovered by a group of merchants on November 19th, 2016, and the access points were quickly sold to the bntg on December 9th. When initially colonized, Level 231 consisted of many simple and abandoned skyscrapers surrounded by an infinite, barren, and mountainous desert. The buildings were all weathered due to repeated sandstorms, and the hills all made it laborious to traverse the terrain. Along with being weathered, the buildings were completely made out of concrete, devoid of insulation or furniture. Despite this, the bntg showed extreme interest in this level due to the crystal phenomenon, the source of the resources, and the value of level 231, see below. This phenomenon was overlooked by the merchant group and discovered by the bntg scout while touring the level. Image caption. The first bntg tents that were installed. Once purchased, the bntg assigned a budget of 9.6% of the total gross revenue of all bntg operations to be spent on the renovation of level 231. Senior Officer Edward Rocker was appointed the chief executive of this new project, along with many intellectuals as predecessors. The bntg top intellectuals and Edward Rocker were in charge of planning the project, while over 3,800 workers were transported from Level 1, Habitable Zone, and Level 11, the Endless City, to work on the construction. The crystals. While on a hill, the scout touring level 231 noticed a faint yellow glow shine through one of the windows in one of the buildings. Once left to explore level 231 alone, the scout investigated the building in question. Inside, a bright, yellow, and moist crystal was found dripping small amounts of liquid. This liquid was identified as almond water. The crystal was also found to be completely immobile, no matter how much force was asserted. The reason for this phenomenon is unknown. With this information, the bntg quickly made it their mission to investigate and use the crystal for commercial benefit, hence the hasty purchase. Once the bntg set up camp and searched more buildings, several more crystals were found. Some crystals were found to have a different color, which were identified to produce different resources. The different crystals are as follows: yellow, almond water; green, matcha luckio milk; red, fire salt; blue, water. The properties of these crystals were initially unknown. However, this changed through further investigation. The amount produced by the crystals has always been hypothesized to be infinite, but the station's scientists and researchers were unsure of the method of extraction. After bodily contact with the crystals, a discovery was made. To extract the liquids from the green, blue, or yellow crystals, a suction or pulling force was needed. This is why the yellow, blue, and green crystals seem to always be dripping. It is thought to be the pulling force of gravity. For the red crystal, on the other hand, the only way to extract the fire salt is by scratching or scraping the surface. Doing this does not decrease the volume of the crystal, as one would think, but instead produces the fire salt at the edge of the blade or other tool of extraction. To make use of this power and opportunity, a project was planned and introduced. Project City of Resources. Image caption. bntg, the project of the future. Financed by the prodigious bntg Corporation. Properties range from 200 to 900 karma. This is the official publication document for the Project City of Resources, the restoration or renovation of Level 231. Aim. Image caption. A picture of a finished yellow district in Level 231. The aim of this project is to industrialize and urbanize level 231 to fully optimize and take advantage of the resources and extreme value of this asset. A utopia will be built to house bntg officials, business associates, and other tenants. Extraction units will be set up around the crystals that automatically extract the resources. All of the resources extracted, except for 3% of the almond water supply, are for miscellaneous bntg use, and therefore will have a way of being transported out of the level. The final 3% of almond water will be pumped into pipes that are to be connected to every building, providing tenants with copious sustenance. Construction. The terrain is to be flattened and excavated, and the buildings are to be rebuilt around their respective crystals. The buildings must also be insulated, painted, and furnished to provide a comfortable living environment. Roads, hospitals, and educational facilities will be built, along with commercial spaces that exclusively sell bntg products. Each building will be classified using a different color, directly correlated to the color of the crystal found inside. The purpose of this is to make the different resources sources more identifiable and create a more lively and upbeat city environment. Bushes will also be planted around the edge of the city to further contribute to this. Contracts and Partnership. The BBAR 09/12/2019. The BBAR has taken great interest in the sustainability and potential of your project and is therefore eager to invest. The BBAR specializes in maintaining law and order and unveiling the mysteries of the Backrooms. To do that, we need resources, which you have in immeasurable amounts. In exchange for a research base and ownership of one fire salt crystal, we will provide administration to your city, along with many tenants who are keen to live here. I cannot wait for our future as business partners. Sincerely, Director Alexander Robinson. Status: Accepted. We believe it would be beneficial to have a good relationship with the BBAR due to their growing power and influence. We desperately need good management and a jurisdictional system here on level 231, and no group can truly do it like this organization. The BNTG has accepted these terms. Backrooms Robotics 23/06/2020. While we have many resource sources across the Backrooms, none have equal potential for your level 231 project. Backrooms Robotics is always in the interest of expanding its inventory of resources in the name of innovation, to bring newer and more exciting innovations to the Wanderers across all levels. In good faith, Backrooms Robotics demands you provide a 1% portion of all your resources from level 231, along with the creation of a robotics center. In return, you will receive many of our marvelous inventions and devices to be used by your tenants. We do not tolerate refusal. Backrooms Robotics Corporation. Status: Rejected. The Backrooms Robotics is a growing concern within the BNTG. We do not have any clue of their power or influence, but recent revelations have caused us to believe it is disturbingly high. We must prevent the further expansion of this group at all costs. Incident Robotics L231. Restricted Access. This is a BNTG classified document. To access the entirety of this document, proper identification is necessary. This document is only available for BNTG workers and officials associated with level 231. We assure you that the contents are not being hidden with malicious intent, but simply because this document contains integral details about the construction and management of this city project. Please understand. The BNTG apologizes for any nuisance this may have caused. Input credentials? Access granted. Important announcement: 24/06/2020. Today, the expedition team sent out to explore the mountainous desert surrounding to find more buildings discovered a potential threat to level 231. Approximately 14 miles south of our city installation, a tall building was found, hidden behind a mountain. The building is bigger, taller, and greater than any buildings previously found. But this is not just any building. Image caption: a picture of the building in question was taken by the expedition team. There seems to be a moving crane on the summit of the building. However, no bntg members, except for the expedition team, have ever left the precinct of the city, and all access points have been completely sealed and protected since the level was purchased. This was no human. Zooming in on the driver's section of the crane with a telescope revealed a silver humanoid creature thought to be a robot. Additionally, the crane was moving at speeds faster than thought to be possible with any crane of that size. The building was rapidly being constructed, fast enough that you could witness the change. Small humanoid robots were also seen in the holes of the building, working at impossible speeds and agility. Their movements were so perfect and coordinated, as if they had been programmed with perfection. One could perhaps assume that this is the work of Backrooms robotics. However, the technology observed is simply too advanced for that theory to be believable, according to Edward Rocker. Workers are all required to resume construction and remain calm. Further investigation will commence tomorrow. Update 25/06/2020. A disturbing revelation has surfaced regarding yesterday's discovery. The building was found to be completely renovated and different. In the 16 hours when nobody was present, the building was completely reinforced with steel and other metals of unknown origin. The crane has been removed, along with any sign of robotic activity. The only thing left aside from the building was one small metal sign found at the base of the architectural monstrosity. Image caption: "You will all pay for your greed. We warned you that refusal would not be tolerated. Your weak organization knows nothing of power, and your city will pay with the heat of 1,000 suns. Backrooms Robotics Corporation." An evacuation order has been issued, and everyone is to cease duties at once and report to corresponding supervisors for departure. This is an order. Level 231 is not safe. Level 231 terminated. Image caption: the final image taken in level 231, showing the weapon being charged. Level 231 and all of its operations have now been terminated. The level is believed to be destroyed and not to exist anymore, since no wanderer who has entered the previous access points has ever returned. This is the greatest failure of the bntg's history, and likely all of the Backrooms. This failure has lost the bntg immeasurable amounts of resources, and the possibility of an infinite amount would have been produced. This failure must not reach the public in order to prevent panic and further humiliation. 3,897 bntg workers have been executed and covered up. The remaining 300 bntg officials and business experts were not executed due to their high value and trust, but are being heavily monitored in the foreseeable future. We will maintain secrecy in all our most lucrative projects to not attract the Backrooms robotics' attention. Additionally, researching the Backrooms robotics will now become one of the most important objectives of the bntg. They must be stopped at all costs. The entirety of the Backrooms depends on it.